Let's talk about the film May December, directed by Todd Haynes, which is a Netflix movie that was actually purchased by Netflix back when it premiered at Cannes earlier this year. And let me tell you, this is one of those movies you definitely have to check out. Don't let anybody ruin it online. For some reason, people are just posting a ton of clips and just really dissecting the movie so much when the movie just came out. And it's kind of sad, actually. And it's really incredible to see people who saw it months ago or even weeks ago doing this. It's just a horrible thing to do. So don't do that. And I'm sorry if you get it spoiled and everything. Never will do that. But hey, check it out. Don't let anybody ruin it for you because it is just an insane watch, honestly. So this film is directed by Todd Haynes. You have Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore, and Charles Melton starring in this. And it is loosely based on the Mary Kay Letourneau story in which we saw a teacher pretty much take advantage of a very young student. I believe they were in the 6th and 7th grade. And this is basically that story here loosely told. It's not the same exact story, but it kind of takes that premise right there. And we see Natalie Portman's character of Elizabeth, an actress who will be playing the woman that is loosely based on Mary Kay Letourneau, which is played by Julianne Moore here, called Gracie, and Charles Melton is playing the young boy now that they are older as well. So I thought this movie was executed perfectly because it's trying to balance these tones that are very, very hard to balance, I feel. And I think Todd Haynes does a great job at making it absurd and making it so dark as well at the same time. I can see the big discourse that's going on right now with people saying this isn't a comedy, but people are saying it's a comedy. Netflix is labeling it as a comedy. People are saying it's funny and stuff like that. And I will say, I think that when it comes to very uncomfortable and very dark and twisted scenarios, I think sometimes coping mechanism that we have, some of us, is just to laugh because we're so nervous. We don't know how to react. It is just baffling. And I think this movie has a lot of those points here where they are pretty much saying like, yeah, this is absurd. Like, this is insane. And it's like, I don't even know what to say about some of the things that are going on here because they're just so like insane. So all you can do is just laugh. And I think that Todd Haynes does a great job at really putting this movie together with those absurd tones while telling this very dark and twisted story of this woman that took advantage of this child. And decades later, they're in this marriage, if you want to even call it that, where this woman is still taking advantage of this person who is just stunted at growth. They might be 36 years old, but deep down, they're still that 13-year-old that was taken advantage of all those years ago. And I really do want to say, Charles Melton did an amazing job at really portraying that character here because there are so many moments that are so small and so many of these delicate and very quiet moments that Charles Melton has where he is portraying this person who was stunted at growth, was never really able to comprehend just how much damage was occurring to them all these years by somebody who they thought they could trust, but in fact, that person was just taking advantage of them and exploiting them and abusing them. And now when all of these emotions starts to surface up, it really shows just how this much has impacted them, but they weren't able to ever acknowledge that because they're just trying to put these walls, this mask on, and try to pretend that everything's fine. I really did like how the movie is about that, when these walls and this mask are taken off and everything just starts to crumble, and we see it, and Charles Melton does an incredible job in every scene towards the end especially. It is just a sight to see, and I really do think Charles Melton deserves every award that is coming to them and that they have already received. Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore together as well do an incredible job at this very interesting relationship where I don't think either of them are a good person, and we see that Natalie Portman's monologue here is something to see as well. I think it is one of the most terrifying things I think I've seen all year, and that's saying a lot from a lot of the horror movies I've seen, but I think what she's able to do here is chilling, just how much she's willing to go for this role and all of that, and by the end of it, you realize that they are just as bad as a person. See just how dark and twisted they can get as well. And I think Julianne Moore, as well as the person who abused this person as a child and is still trying to reckon by saying that it wasn't their fault they did it, it was the child and all of this. I really did find those moments so intense and so twisted, honestly. And it was just so like weird to see it unfold, and it was just something that honestly took me by surprise, just how incredible the acting was from everybody involved here, because there were moments here where I was just like, I don't even know how to feel about all of this as I saw it unfold. And I think that the score in here really heightens the movie a lot. There is an opening scene where the score just comes in for the first time, and I was just like, oh, we're about to get something insane with this, honestly. And I think that goes for Todd Haynes' directing here, because there are moments where we start to unravel things, and the way that things are sort of positioned and the blocking and all of that is just something that even elevates the story to another level that I did not expect. I was going to say that this movie just came out in December, and I was able to catch it, and it managed to crack my top 10, honestly. Right now it's at number 5 for one of my favorite films of the year, and that's just with the incredible writing here, the dialogue and everything. Some of these scenes are some of the most heavy scenes, I think, all year, and I think Todd Haynes' direction is just incredible to see, but I think the acting here is what really drives this one. Julianne Moore, Natalie Portman together are just something to see and will have your eyes glued to the screen. And Charles Melton, by the end of the film, is just going to break you. It is just an earth-shattering performance that Charles Melton's able to do. One that is so quiet, but so impactful, so striking. I really cannot say enough about Charles Melton here. Just really nailed the role, and I'm excited to see where Charles Melton goes next. But if you see May December, let me know what you thought about it. We give May December a 4.5 out of 5. Nearly a perfect film, in my opinion. I feel like it could have hit some things a little bit harder. It could have been a little bit more open about some things that were happening, but overall, I don't know what I would change about it, to be honest. I think it's a great film. Maybe on a rewatch, this becomes a 5. We'll see. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on May December. Let me know what you thought, and follow us for more on the things you love. You can follow us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all provided here. We run giveaways on Instagram, so make sure you follow us there. But as always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.